This morning, new fuel in California's wildfire crisis. It's the weather forecast firefighters were dreading. The holiday's over in Canberra. Politicians back on the job as Anthony Albanese steps up his campaign blitz. Bulk billing in free fall. Claims Australians are missing out on visits to the GP. And the Great Australia Day debate. Why the push to change the date might not be so popular.
This is 7 News.
Good morning. The race to get on top of Los Angeles' devastating wildfires is right now at a critical juncture. It's feared a perfect storm of conditions is about to add even more fuel to the out-of-control blazes. A brief reprieve in winds is giving way to wild gusts predicted to feed those fires and potentially spark new ones. The forecast, a cruel blow nearly a week on from the start of the disaster, which has now claimed at least 16 lives and scorched 35,000 acres of land. Let's go live this morning to Isabel Mullen, who is in Malibu in California. Izzy, these forecast conditions are exactly what those exhausted fire crews had been dreading.
They certainly are, Hugh. Good morning. There's just been so much fuel on the ground, and that combined with these Santa Ana winds is not what fire crews want. Have a look at where we are on the Pacific Coast Highway right now. It's absolute devastation behind me. This was once a row of mansions that they've been absolutely decimated along the Pacific Ocean here. Crews are working really hard to clean this area up. We have SoCal Gas here trying to reconnect gas lines. You can see the electricity lines here are completely scorched as well. They're lying right along the highway, right up and down this coastline. So they just have so much work to do in such a short space of time. As you've just said, those winds are expected to pick up again on Wednesday, and that is what they are dreading. Within the last hour, about 20 evacuation orders were downgraded, but as you can see, residents won't be returning home to much.
We know that elevated critical fire weather conditions will continue through Wednesday. The Los Angeles County Fire Department is prepared. These winds, combined with low relative humidities and low fuel moistures, will keep the fire threat in Los Angeles County very high.
It's hard to put a dollar figure on just how much damage we've seen over the last 5 or 6 days. It's expected or estimated to be around $40 billion for the Palisades fire alone. So crews will be working really hard over the next 48 hours to try and get a handle on this and prevent further damage. Hugh.
Live in Malibu, Isabel Mullen, thank you. The wildfire crisis has been just as destructive as it has been indiscriminate. With those homes across Los Angeles reduced to ashes and rubble, Australian-born Vanessa Quinn, her husband Devon and their 2 young children are among those families who have lost everything. They made a frightening escape as the fire front raced towards their home.
It took us 2 hours to do what would normally be a 1-minute drive to get out. So everybody was trapped. It was very stressful. And we've been just rushing to try to figure things out. You know, we're getting hundreds and hundreds of text messages and calls, trying to get insurance together and find a place to stay.
It's estimated some 150,000 people have been displaced by the wildfires. The Prime Minister has used this morning's Cabinet meeting to attack Peter Dutton for making the coalition more conservative than ever. Live to Cassidy Mosconi in Canberra. Cassidy, the PM has brought his team together for the first time this year.
Well, summer break is officially over and today marks the first Cabinet meeting for 2025. The Prime Minister back in Canberra this morning after his pre-election 3-state blitz, Queensland, Northern Territory and Western Australia. Today he's back at Capitol Hill, joined by senior ministers to discuss the election year's agenda. Still no word on when we'll head to the polls.
Today we get down to work, building further on our agenda and putting forward a positive, optimistic vision for Australia.
Peter Dutton soft-launched his election campaign in Melbourne at the weekend. The opposition leader speaking at an event in Rowville earlier this morning, solidifying Victoria as a key battleground state. The Liberals are looking to conquer. Top of his priority list, cracking down on neighbourhood crime and anti-Semitism, a multi-million-dollar pledge to Crime Stoppers over 3 years.
The announcement today of $7.5 million will significantly augment the funding provided to Crime Stoppers so that additional work can be done.
The coalition's launch has been likened to a Trump rally and criticised as lacking any policy detail, possibly keeping any real announcements under wraps until the election is officially called. And the Prime Minister's foreshadowed what he's called a positive announcement around the national broadband network. That's expected to happen any minute now. We'll bring you those details in our bulletins at 4 and 6. Hugh?
Cassidy Mosconi in Parliament House, thank you. Bulk billing options in Australia have dropped to a shocking low. A new report from CleanBill out this morning claims fewer than 1 in 5 GPs offer the service. Only Queensland, New South Wales and Victoria have bulk billing rates above 10%. No clinics in Tasmania offer the service at all. South Australia's options have dropped nearly 4 points to 7.4%, and in WA the bulk billing rate is just over 6%. But the government disputes those figures and the methodology used by CleanBill. It insists the true national bulk billing rate is 77.2%. It seems there's little reprieve for Queenslanders after a weekend of wild weather in the Sunshine State. As much as a third of Queensland is in the firing line of more storms potentially delivering heavy rain, flash flooding and hail. While skies are mostly clear across the southeast this morning, that's expected to change into the afternoon. Dozens of roads were cut off by flash flooding northwest of Brisbane over the weekend. It's a debate that never seems to disappear, but it seems most Australians have made up their mind when it comes to our National Day. That's according to a new poll showing a surge in support for Australia Day to be celebrated on January 26. Tegan Dolling reports.
It's that time of the year when the Australia Day debate rolls back in, whether we should be celebrating on January 26. We've seen a lot of backflips recently from Woolworths. They have decided to stock Australia Day merchandise this year, despite not having it on the shelves last year. We've seen councils all around Australia not have citizenship ceremonies on January 26, and public events have also been cancelled. But a new poll from the Institute of Public Affairs has revealed that there has been a real surge in support for Australia Day, especially around younger Aussies. 69% of participants agreed that Australia Day should be celebrated on January 26, and the number of 18 to 24-year-olds, young adults who also agree with that statement is up around 10%. Now, we asked a few people today down here on the Yarra, also including some politicians.
I think it's a real reminder of the fact that we live in the greatest country in the world and we have a great migrant story and incredible Indigenous history, and we should celebrate all of it, and Australia Day is about exactly that.
The date should not change. I think Australia is a great place, so I agree that should be celebrated.
But I don't do a lot of celebrating. Just a day off, spend it with family, spend it with friends. Around 1,000 people took part in that official poll, but it's an incredibly divisive issue that everyone has an opinion on.